ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన NSR ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ NSR ఇంపల్స్.
Hello students, let us continue with the taxonomic categories here. Now in taxonomic categories, what is the very first one we have to discuss about? The first one is nothing but species. So what is a species? We have species is nothing but what are the things to remember? A basic unit of classification. Very important. Basic unit of classification. And what are the other important things to remember about this? So if you look at in this, we say this is referred as lowest taxa with highest number of similar characters. Highest number of similar characters. So both are nothing but expected questions, right? So what are the important things to remember about species? We say this is basic unit of classification, this is the lowest taxa but contains highest number of similar characters. So first of all, if you look at species term was given by the scientist John Ray. So if you want, you can write the capital R, John Ray. Who is the scientist who introduced the term? John Ray. Now what is the species here? Now let us talk about definition. How do you define the basic unit called species? So here I say the group of organisms with similar characters in a taxonomic hierarchy. It's called as, what do we call? It's called as what? Species. We say a group of organisms with similar characters in a taxonomic hierarchy. The organisms are very same, literally. For example, if you look at, let me give you a simple example. Maybe if you take a tamarind tree, let us take a tamarind tree. So if you take a tamarind plant, for example, if you see, you know the tamarind plant contain a small leaflets, definitely it is a compound leaf. I think you know the tamarind plant, you might have seen, right? So very big plant, so small, what you will find here, small leaflets will be there like this, right, like this. Now if you look at the terminal tip, I am talking about the similarities here. Now this is one of the species, let us take species 1, right, and this is a tamarind plant, let us take that, it is being cultivated in AP, Andhra Pradesh, right. Maybe you take another tamarind plant, so this is growing in one area, we are talking about leaf character, that is compound leaf having leaflets, right, this is one species. Let us take another plant grows in some another tamarind plant which is growing somewhere in North India or north part of India, somewhere Maharashtra or whatever it may be, North India. I am simply writing for your understanding, I am giving you example. AP means Andhra Pradesh and another tamarind plant which growing in North India we are just looking for. And if you see the arrangement, rest of them here it has same arrangement, but you know here only one leaflet. So if you look at here, this is exactly same, both are tamarind plants, no doubt, both are tamarind plants, no doubt. So this genus name is also same, this genus name is also same, okay. Or let us take Oryza sativum, you know very well Oryza sativum, right. Oryza sativum growing in Andhra Pradesh, and let us take Oryza sativum going in what you call somewhere in North India. Then both are same genus, Oryza. This is also Oryza, genus name. Let us take this is also Oryza, genus name. But the species is different, we say. Same total whole together top to bottom plant is same, but there may be one or two small changes because of environment, because the environment what you find in AP is different from the environment what you find in North India, or better you take this is South India. The environment what you find in South India is different from the environment what you find in North India. So, Oryza sativum plant growing in South India, total plant from top to bottom is same, but if you look at there may be one small change. What is a terminal tip of the leaves ends with 2 small leaflets. You remember peripinnate, imperipinnate, right. So, here terminal part ends with 2 small leaflets, and the one Oryza sativum growing in North India where terminal part ends with only 1 leaflet, imperipinnate, peripinnate, right, but rest of the plant is same. Rest of the plant and total number of branches, how the plant is looking like, everything is same, because this is also Oryza, this is also Oryza, this is also tamarind, this is also tamarind, genus is same. But why do you call, why do you give different species name, different species we say, because there may be 1 or 2 few very small differences. Genus is same Oryza, same tamarind, but few differences, small differences there. With that we say one is one species, other one is other species, but both of them belong to same genus. So, here as he has here highest number of similar characters, meaning a group of organisms here with similar characters which exist in the taxonomic hierarchy itself is nothing but what you call a basic unit called species. So, let me give you examples here. Let us take that we have what not so many examples like Mangifera indica, you can take example. Right, Mangifera is genus name, indica is nothing but what? Species name. Similarly, what not you can take? Oryza sativum. Any examples? Here you have textbook has so many like Solanum tuberosum, all there are so many examples, right? That is about species. Now, let us go to second one, genus. So, species is kept in next one is called as genus. What do we say in case of genus here? Here we say a group of related species. What do we say? A group of related species. When you say genus, group of related species, different species has same genetic characters, they belong to same genus, then they kept in a particular genus. Group of related species is called as genus. For example, if you take that, for example, you can tell, for example, let us take Solanaceae family. You know, in that Solanum tuberosum and Solanum melangina. Solanum melangina. Solanum tuberosum is a scientific name. What do you call commonly? It is nothing but potato. Solanum melangina, it is commonly called as what? Brinjal. Yes or no? Right. So, here Solanum tuberosum, meaning what is different here? Here species is different. This is species. What is that species? Potato. But belong to same genus called Solanum. Genus is same. Here also genus is Solanum. Here also genus is Solanum. Genus is name. Genus names are same, but they differ in terms of their species. Here also genus name is Solanum. Here also genus name is Solanum. But here what is the species name? Tuberosum. Solanum tuberosum means you have to look for potato, and Solanum melangina means you have to look for brinjal. Now, if you look at it, potato is totally different from brinjal. That means potato is a different species, brinjal is a different species. Potato, brinjal, both of them belong to same genus, Solanum and Solanum. I hope you got it, right? That means genus is same, but species is different. A slight difference. Rest of the 99% of the characteristics are same. 90 to 95 characteristics are same, because both of them belong to same genus, that is Solanum, Solanum. Slightly they differ, right? That difference for our eye, you may think there is lot of difference between potato and brinjal. For our eye, there is lot of difference between potato and brinjal. But for plant point of view, if you take the genes of potato plant, if you take the genes of brinjal plant, genes will be matching, genus name will be matching, more characteristics are similar. What we cannot observe with our naked eye, anatomy characters, if you take cutting of the root, see inside root what tissue is there, cutting of the stem, see inside the stem what tissue are there, same kind of arrangement you find in case of both potato plant and brinjal plant. That you need to talk about anatomy and other characters, but species is different. Okay. So, what is genus? Group of related species. Similarly, Citrus medica, I think you remember we have studied some more other examples also. I am giving you other examples like Citrus medica and Citrus sinensis. This is the reason why I completed morphology first, because in morphology whatever we speak, those examples we can discuss in almost in every chapter. You remember we discussed about Citrus medica and Citrus sinensis in the morphology chapter. So, what did we discuss over there? What is Citrus medica? Is a scientific name for lemon. What is Citrus sinensis? It is nothing but sweet orange, right? It's nothing but what you call orange. See here, medica species name is different, sinensis species is different, but both of them belong to same genus called citrus. So, you know, lemon slightly differs from orange. A smaller one, yellowish one what we get, or green one what we get is nothing but lemon. A bigger one, so tasty one, what you find that itself is orange. But if you look at both of them belong to same genus, even though they differ in terms of their species. Similarly, same thing, Pyrus malus, apple, right. So, everywhere in every chapter we can make use of examples from morphology. When you interlink the chapters, when you make your preparation, that becomes the best preparation for the NEET. You know, if you take living world, hardly you have 1 or 2 examples in the first chapter. But this concept you can relate it to morphology, because morphology we have so many examples. So, for example, you can also take the combination of what? Pyrus malus, Pyrus communis. What is that? Pyrus malus is a scientific name for apple. Pyrus communis is a scientific name for pear, right. So, here species is different, but both of them belong to same genus. So, what is genus here? We say a group of related species, right. So, let me look at species is nothing but lowest taxa with the highest number of similar characters. It is a basic unit of classification. Species term was given by John Ray, he is a scientist. Now, definition is a group of organisms with similar characters in a taxonomic hierarchy. Example, Mangifera indica, Oryza sativum. This genus has a particular species, this genus also has a particular species which has more close resemblance of characters. Next, genus, a group of related species. When you take the most similar species if you together, if they have more, the genes of the plant are most similar and slight variations in the species, they both belong to what? Same genus. Solanum both are same genus, but when you write tuberosum, that we speak about potato, Melangina means brinjal will come. Similarly, we can talk about some more morphology examples. Citrus medica is lemon and Citrus sinensis is nothing but orange. Similarly, Pyrus malus is apple, Pyrus communis is nothing but pear. Now, let us continue. What is the next category we have to study now? The next category is nothing but family. What is the next category? We have to take into consideration of family. So what we say here? Here it's nothing but aggregation of related genera. Aggregation of related genera. Different genus, if you get it together, aggregation meaning when you get it together, when you place it at one place, they may be of different genera, but they have few similar characters. With few similar characters, they will be placed in the same family. Okay. So here either you can write group of related genera or you can write aggregation of related genera. So if you take in this case of family, your family is based on, we place in a particular family, a particular plant is placed in a particular family based on both vegetative characters, meaning we take into consideration of vegetative characters as well as reproductive characters. Vegetative characters means sometimes in the question they will give sometimes morphological characters, one another same. Morphological characters. So what are vegetative characters? Whenever you say vegetative characters or morphological characters means what? The characters which we can see with the naked eye on the plant. What are they? Root, stem, leaf, branches, all will come. They all will come under what? Vegetative characters, or itself they are called as what? Morphological characters. Then what are reproductive characters? Calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Mainly we speak about what? Androecium and gynoecium, stamens, pistils, carpels, right? So family, you are placing a particular plant or a group of plants even though they belong to different genera. That means here aggregation of related genera. One plant is one genus, other plant is other genus, other plant is other genus. They are completely different genus, but together placing in the same family. All three, even though they all three. For example, let me give you, for example, family examples I am giving you. Datura, Solanum and Nicotiana. Right, you know it very well. Datura, you know Datura, right? Solanum, it may be Melangina, it may be tuberosum. Nicotiana, this is tobacco. What is Nicotiana? This is nothing but what? Tobacco. Now all these three are placed in same family. What is that family which we are placing into this? We are placing into the family called Solanaceae. Okay, that means what? The genus of Datura is different. Solanum is different plant. Nicotiana is different plant. This is a particular genus called Datura. Another genus, another totally different plant called Solanum. Nicotiana, this is tobacco plant. Tobacco plant is different from potato and brinjal, right? Tobacco, you know tobacco, right? Tobacco plant is different from Solanum. Solanum is different from Datura. All three are some totally different genus. This all from different genus, even though they are belong to different genus, but based on few similar characters. So here what we say, based on few similar characters, they are placed together in the family called Solanaceae. Even though the genus is different, but they all belong to, as we say, as we go from down to up, number of similar characters decreases. So based on few similar characters, they are placed in Solanaceae. So aggregation of, a combination of related genera, a different genera, even though this genus is different, in that few characters matching with these two. Even though this is different, in this few characters matching with other plant. Because of few characters which are common in all three plants, together we are placing in the family called Solanaceae. Right. Now let us go with next one called as order. Let us call as order. Now what we say here, a combination of or grouping of, or we say assemblage of, anything you can write, assemblage of related families. assemblage of related families. You know, group of species forms genus, group of genus forms family, group of families forms the order. So, how do you define order? Order is referred as a group of related families, or simply you can write a combination of related families, or you can write aggregation, same terminology you can use, aggregation of related families, or you can write assemblage of, means joining of different families. When families, when you keep together based on few common characters, they all will be placed in a particular order. For example, let us take the example here, Solanaceae and Convolvaceae. There are two families which we are taking, Solanaceae and Convolvaceae. Both of them belongs to, both of them in this case belongs to which order here? Polemoniales. Polemoniales. Try to see that Solanaceae is one family, Solanaceae is one of the family, Convolvaceae is another family. Based on few common characters, what do you say? They show what? Few common characters. Based on few common characters, this family is having totally different, this is totally different. Solanaceae stem will be hairy, Convolvaceae total plant appearance is different, but there are few similar characters, a few common characters. Based on few common characters, even though Solanaceae family is totally different, Convolvaceae family is totally different, but because of one or two few common characters, some 5 or 6 common characters, few common characters, both of them are placed in the same order called as polemoniales. So, if you look at in both the cases, guys, try to remember one more thing. If you take in case of this ACE, let us take ACE. So, if you take the family, try to remember this part. I will try to give you this point. So, here I am trying to give you family, try to remember ends with suffix, ends with suffix ACE, very important. Family name always it ends with the suffix ACE, Solanaceae, similarly Liliaceae. So, if you take for example Liliaceae, ACE, and what you called apart from this Fabaceae, FABACE. So, I don't in the question I don't have to mention about family. Simply I say in Liliaceae, simply I say in Solanaceae. I will not mention in the question as family. So, you have to understand that term is nothing but speaking about family. How do you come to know that? Simply saying as end suffix, end word. Suffix meaning what? End word, ends with the suffix terminology ACE. Whenever it ends with the suffix ACE, that is nothing but name of the family. That is nothing but what? Name of the family. So, try to remember family ends with the suffix. This is very important to remember. Family ends with the suffix ACE. For any term you find ending with ACE, that is nothing but name of the family. Similarly, for plants I am talking, not for animals. For zoology, different criteria. Idae, it will come for order. Hominidae, NIADE, right? IDAE, that will for animals, zoology part you will get it. For plants, order if you take, for animals you will get Idae, Hominidae, IDAE. But for plants I am giving, not for animals, right? I think biological classification is completed in zoology class. For animals, order ends with the suffix Idae, but for plants it ends with the suffix. Here I am writing. So, here it ends with the suffix, ends with the suffix. What is the suffix? Ales. Whenever it ends with ales, ALES, that represents what? Name of the order. So, here whenever order is there, it always ends with the suffix ales, polymoniales, malvales, rosales. So, whenever the term ends with ales, that always speaks about that is name of the order, right. For the plants, according to ICBN, slightly variation we find in the rules when compared with the ICZN rules given for classification of animals. Okay. So, for example, if you take phylum is there. In the kingdom, when you go to that species to division we use for plants. Okay. The same division it will be referred as phylum for animals, right. We write this as phylum for animals. So, certain variation, this is according to ICBN classification of plants we speak about according to ICBN, classification of animals we speak according to ICZN. So, according to ICBN for plants we write category division, but the same division it is referred as phylum for animals. Then comes for both it is same kingdom. So, here we say plant kingdom and animal kingdom, but slight variations we find. Similarly, hominidae, IDAE, that is a end suffix for animals, not for plants, right. Then let us continue further. Okay. So, let us continue further. When you take the order, now let us continue with class. Class is very important because most of the times we speak about order then followed by the class. When you say the class is the same thing what we are going to write, we say it is referred as a group of related orders, a group of related orders. So, when you take a different orders, when you join different orders, when you join together, then that itself is together, it is called as class, right. Of course, number of similar characteristics will be very few. So, here coming to class we find very few similar characters, that means more of dissimilar characters, but still because of few common points we place them in the same class. So, what is that? Group of related orders. When you take different order plants, few common characters, because of that few common characters we place them in the same class. So, for example, let us take malveals is an order because it ends with the suffix ales. So, it is a name of the order. Similarly, another order rosales, it ends with ales, ALA. Similarly, as we discussed now in the previous example, polymoniales, it is also order. Order ends with ales, right. So, because of this, because of few similar characters, because of few common characters, all these things are placed in the class called Spermatophyta. Placed in the same class called as what? Spermatophyta. Okay. Oh, sorry, this is class no. One second. This is class no. We get it as dicotyledonate. No, I thought division. Right. We are still in the class. So, we have to take what? A dicotyledonate. Dicotyledons. So here dicotyledone meaning what here? Dicots. Dicotyledone, okay, meaning they all are dicots. Dicotyledone, it's nothing but what? It's nothing but a class. It ends with what? Dicotyledone, NAE. NAE is nothing but what? End suffix name. Spelling somewhere it's there, it's here, it is LEDO, Lidano. That's what pronunciation is varying. That's what I'm checking the spelling. That's what I'm checking the spelling, that's not coming properly. Lidane, pronunciation is not matching. Dicotyledone, that's what I'm checking and got stuck up here. Okay, so dicotyledone, so NAE is nothing but a suffix name. Okay, dicotyledone, Ne is nothing but suffix name. That means here if you look at the class, class ends with the suffix name called Ne, NAE, dicotyledone, monocotyledone, right, NAE, NAE is nothing but the end suffix name for class. So, even though Malvaceae is a different order, Roseae is completely a different order, Polymoreales is another different order, but all of them belong to the same class, Dicotyledone, based upon very few similar characters. Right. Now, let us continue for the division. So, as I told you, division is we apply the terminology for plants. For animals, we apply phylum, right, Annelida and all that phylums you have, right. For plants, it is called division. So, if you take division, what is the definition? Same here, a group of related classes, or what is the other way you can write? Assemblage of related classes, or we can write a different combination of classes, assemblage of related classes, or you can write aggregation of related classes, meaning combining few classes, we are looking for similar characteristics to place them in a particular convenient taxonomic category, right. So, group of related classes, when you take different classes, in that similarity based on that we are keeping in a particular division. Now, let us take example, you know that the class Dicotyledone. Similarly, another class Monocotyledone. These two are totally different classes. This is one class, this is totally monocotyledone, is different class, but both of them belong to the division Spermatophyta. Spermatophyta. So, here Spermatophyta is name of the division. Try to remember, this is nothing but name of the division. So, here I kept star marks, that is very important for you to remember, and they both belong to subdivision Angiospermae. Subdivision is Angiospermae, meaning they belong to angiosperms. So, spermato is nothing but Spermatophyta, phyta is nothing but end suffix name, this is nothing but end suffix name. Whenever you get the phyta, any term ends with phyta, that is nothing but division. Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, these all are nothing but the divisions which we are going to study in coming chapter, right. Pteridophyta, phyta, PHYTA, that means it is nothing but it is a division. Pteridophyta, Bryophyta, like that we have different divisions. But remember, dicotyledone, monocotyledone belong to Spermatophyta, it ends with the suffix phyta, but here whenever the question comes monocotyledone, dicotyledone belong to which subdivision? Subdivision means at that time you have to choose the option as Angiospermae, not Spermatophyta. So, this is nothing but taxonomic categories what we are discussing. Almost we have come to the last part. What is that last part? We write the last part as kingdom. Last one as what? Kingdom. So, we have two kingdoms. It may be a plant kingdom or it may be an animal kingdom. Obviously, right. So, when it comes to the matter of kingdom, either we have two. It may be a plant kingdom or it may be a animal kingdom, right. So, if you take the kingdom, what are the important things I told you to remember? The kingdom part, if you look at, in this kingdom part we say this is nothing but highest to taxa, means the upper one, very higher one, highest to taxa with the least number of similar characters. with least number of similar characters. Very, very important. So, what are the important point you have to remember about the kingdom? Kingdom is nothing but highest taxa, a bigger taxa, but it has very few similar characters. Number of dissimilar characteristics are higher compared with the similar characters. Very least number of similar characters, that is nothing but lowest in terms of similar characters, but highest in terms of category. What is that? That is nothing but what we call kingdom. So, as we know that we move from species to kingdom, number of similar characters decreases, number of dissimilar characters increases, ascending order. As we move from kingdom to species, number of similar characters, what happens? Increases, number of dissimilar characters decreases. So, according to the question, you have to remember about the sequence of what we call the taxonomic categories. Let us continue further. Now, let us continue with a taxonomic aids. What is nothing but taxonomic aids here? To study taxonomic categories, we have certain methodologies to study the taxonomic categories. They are nothing but what we call taxonomic aids. What are taxonomic aids? For anything to study, any taxonomic category to study, what is the basic thing you need to have? You need to have the sample. So, here if you look at sample collection is a primary source for taxonomic aids. For anything to study, I want to study a new plant, right, which is not known to anyone in the rest part of the world. So, to study that, throughout the day, throughout the year, I can't sit in front of the plant in the forest, right. So, what do I need to do? I will take the sample. Sample collection is very important. So, I started studying about morphological characters. What I will do? First day I will get the leaf. What is the type of leaf? I will get the leaf to the lab. In the lab, I will try to see that what type of leaf it is, what type of venation, and what are the characteristics of the leaf. It is a monocot, it is a dicot. So, I collect the leaf, and after I completed study of the leaf, I will keep it in the herbarium, in the shade. I will preserve that, and again I will go and get the root, right. So, for anything to study, if you want to know the taxonomic categories, most and important one is nothing but sample collection is the primary source. And how to study about that sample? How do you come to know about categories? So, we have certain methodologies called as a taxonomic aids. Okay. So, after sample collection, what are the other things we need to look for? Sample collection, then preservation of the sample means storage. You are going to store the sample, then followed by characterization, meaning we are going to note down the characters. It is called characterization. Then with that characters, we will try to identify the organism. It is called identification. If you are with the characters, if you can identify, you will come to know the name of the plant, that is nomenclature, and then you will try to put in a convenient category of species, genus, family, class and order, that will come under what? Classification. So, for any these all are called as what? These all are nothing but what? Taxonomic components. To know the taxonomic classification, for first thing what you need to do here is nothing but sample collection. After collection of sample, you need to store it for future reference, for knowing the data, what it is and what characters matches with what components and what are the parameters. With that we will come to know this, and finally we keep it in a particular category, particular convenient category, right. So what are the different methods we just make use of this for the study of taxonomic categories? If you look at, we have different methods like herbarium. I told you very clearly, identification is done with the help of herbarium, right. Then later preservation can be done in case of in the place called museum, because some organisms will get extincted from the environment, they will not find now, they may exist earlier. For example, dinosaurs. Dinosaurs got completely extincted from environment, they survive once upon a time, right. So, but we can see the skeletal part in the museum for the further study and to study the course of evolution and all that. So, not only extincted organisms, today what the samples we collect, we need to store them for future generation. Not only extincted organism, any organism if you study, that you need to preserve it, you need to store it in the place called museum. Similarly, if you want to study on the complete life cycle of the plant, then you need to allot some space in the environment. Now I want to study complete life cycle of the plant, how seeds are produced, seeds falling, again young plant is coming, how leaves are produced and how gametes are produced. If you want to study the complete life cycle, you need some space in the environment. So we allot some space for the growth of the plants. The place mostly we call botanical gardens, right. And then what we have is nothing but zoological parks. So for plants we take the environment for cultivation is botanical garden. For storage and study of animals, we provide a particular habitat that we call it as what, zoological parks. So we have different taxonomic aids. For what? For collecting as well as storing them. I am storing plants in botanical garden, storing animals in zoological park, and further I want to collect with the help of herbarium and to place in the place called as what we call museum. So these are nothing but taxonomic aids. Now we are going to study one after the other. The first one what we have to study for the next class is nothing but what? Herbarium.